Okay, let's talk about this quite controversial, maybe controversial for somebody, topic. Why do old white or middle aged, I'm not old, I'm middle aged, why do old white guys like to come to places like Thailand or the Philippines and Bali, etc.? Well, there are of course different groups of people, and you cannot generalize and say that all of them they come here and they are sex tourists, which is of course a totally shameful thing to say. You are who you are before you come to the Philippines, okay? uh, I came to the Philippines to find love again, to establish a family back in 2008. Now that woman, whom I had a daughter with, she suddenly ran off with a guy from Australia and took my daughter, forged some documents, obviously, and my daughter is now in Australia. I never had sex with anybody else than my partner because I was not coming to fuck around with many girls. I have never been to Angeles. Maybe, I mean, I remember one time I met this old not Canadian, but he was oh yeah, he was Canadian, yeah, but he was living just across the border from the United States. We met him in Cambodia. We had to flee Thailand because the airport. This was back in December 2008, I think. So the airport in Bangkok was closed off because of demonstrations, and so we were going to Bali, me and my friend from Norway, and so we had to go with a bus to Cambodia. And this guy, he had been in Cambodia before some years ago, and he was always carrying around some beer coolers. Quite funny, man. And then I asked him, "Where is your destination?" Because obviously we just used Cambodia as a transit to get out from that part of the world, right? Because we were stuck in Thailand, and so we had a couple of days in a coastal town there in Cambodia, and then we went to Phnom Penh, and we flew out from there. But I asked the guy, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm going to Angeles in the Philippines," and I said, "Okay, what is there? Is there a beach, or is it a mountain area? Cool, nice place? What is attracting you to Angeles?" I never heard about Angeles, except that I actually flew out. So I have been to Angeles, but only the airport because I flew out from Clark Airport. I never know anything about Angeles before. I'm not a sexpat. I never was, and I will never be. Okay, sex tourist. So, of course, I suppose that many are like him because he said, "I'm going there for beer and pussy." That's what he said. Old fat Canadian man carrying beer coolers in his belt and always drinking beer. And he was very proud about how he would fuck young girls. That his girlfriend in Angeles would supply him with an endless supply of young girls. And then this guy, he wanted us to stay together in the same hotel there in Cambodia, and he would, and then that we should have sex with young girls there. And I told my friend, I don't want to be with this pedophile idiot. So we we left him out there in his hotel and we just continued with the taxi. We dumped him. I don't want to have that kind of friends. So obviously there are some people who are bastards, who are sick, perverted bastards. But to call anybody who comes to from Europe or America, who has a beer belly maybe, and who has a pension, and he wants to have a different lifestyle, to call him trash and evil and just uh, label him something bad, that is totally unacceptable. You are actually exposing yourself if you are labeling. People are different. Me, I don't even know almost any. white guys here in the Philippines. My brother came here because of me. I encouraged him. He came here, and he still lives in the Philippines. My younger brother, and he's married, and they have a boy who is now 8 years old. I mean, he's not fucking around with young girls. He has a beautiful wife. My other friends from Norway came here. They found wife, and they brought them back to Norway, and they have kids. So, what is the problem? There are so many people. Every person has their own story, and I refuse to be put in a bucket uh, by women who maybe, and they think, well, why don't you want to stay in Norway? Of course, I would love to stay in Norway, but Norway makes me very depressed, especially if I'm alone. And to be frank with you, I don't like the mentality of Norwegian women. Okay, I don't like the mentality. They are feminist monsters, most of them. And my age, they are not good looking either. And honest, why should I have an ugly, fat, wrinkled woman when I can go to the place like Philippines and find a young, beautiful, cooperative, feminine personality with a nice skin? Huh? Okay, it's a win-win situation. Uh, but I don't really know many foreigners here in the Philippines. When I came, I stayed with my Filipina girlfriend, my Filipina wife. That's what I did. Okay, and I don't go to the other side of the world to hang around with foreigners. There's a lot of Norwegians in Norway. I can hang around with them if I want to. Um, so each and every one have their own reason for coming to the Philippines, and of course we are all human beings. We have our desires. Of course, it may change by age with some people, the sexual drive, but at least most of us we like to have intimacy. We like to have somebody we call our family, right? We like to have somebody we can call our partner. I have a beautiful baby boy here, and he was not an accident. I love children. I have 7 of them in total. I lost 6 of them, so now my number 7 is with me. Thank God. I'm very happy about children. So I have always wanted to be a family man. I always was a family man. So to insult me and say that I am per definition a bad, morally bad guy because I come to the Philippines looking for love, I think you should look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what about you? You don't have any imperfections. So what is wrong with coming to the Philippines? And people here are so polite, and I am a shy introvert person. I am. I don't. I just want to sit inside my room all the time. Well, being on internet, watching news, reading stuff. I'm always a student. I don't have any interest in go around, and I don't even like to hang out in bars. Uh, because basically I don't like drunk people. I'm a drunkard sometimes, I am, and then I think it's fun to be with drunk people. But uh, so anyway, I have met here in Digos. I have met a couple of foreigners just briefly, like one time, talked with them for a few minutes, and 2 foreigners, yes. One is from England. He's a family man. He has kids here with a Filipina. He's been married for many years. They live here. They have a business here. And the other guy, he was with his Filipina girlfriend. He's staying here. He's going back and forth from United States, making money, saving money, and coming here to spend it because he likes it here. I have seen a couple of foreigners here, and then I met this German man recently, and he actually commented to my T-shirt because I had a motorcycle motive on my black T-shirt, and he obviously is a biker. So he gave some comment like cool T-shirt, and then we got to talk, and I invited him back to my house. That is the first time that some foreigner visited me here in my house, and that is just a few weeks ago. Now, this man, he came here with some of the same reasons as I have, that he was depressed and lonely. And he understands that the Philippines can offer a better lifestyle, better climate, and so forth. So we had a nice conversation for several hours, and then he had to go back to his dog. And I hope to see him again here. He's quite shy, and he's struggling, obviously, with being divorced, like me. I mean, we are people here who are serious people. Not all of us are pedophile monsters, okay? Actually, we would like to beat the shit out of the pedophiles. So, okay, maybe you go to places like in Angeles, which I understand from other people, it's a place where there's a lot of hookers and prostitution going on. I was never attracted to that kind of place. Why would I go there? I lived in Pattaya in Thailand for a very long time, 2.5 years, outside in a place called Jomtien, which is related to. I mean, it's like the same thing as Pattaya, but more cozy in a way. And I went there because it's extremely cheap, full furnished apartments available, and you have a beautiful beach there. You have so many nice restaurants. I mean, Thailand is very a lot of live music. I love to go out and enjoy live music, and I was alone. Okay, so instead of sitting in my house or my basement in Norway and not even see the sunshine, just drinking beer and feeling sad and lonely, I came to Thailand. But I wanted to find a partner, and I could not find for myself a suitable partner in Thailand. I didn't come there to fuck a lot of girls. Some of the tourists or long time foreigners that I met in Thailand, they are obviously sexpats. Some of them say, "Yeah, my goal in life is to fuck as many girls as possible." And I said, "Well, that was never my goal. My goal was to have sex with my one and only wife." Okay, and that was my goal. Now things happen differently, and I continue to live on. So if you have any comments about why you are here as a white person, I would love to see your comment to hear your story also. Thank you for your attention.